So you want to get a PVS 14, but you don't know where to start with your mount situation. I want to make a quick video comparing the common styles of mounts you're going to see. It might seem a little absurd to spend, $200 or $300 on a mounting setup when you can go on eBay and get a surplus setup for $50 or less. But I wanted to compare the features between them, the practical considerations, so you can really analyze what's it worth spending my money on. Does the mount I have really matter? And does it serve any purpose other than making me look cooler and help me virtue signal my tactical superiority to my peers? Let's take a look. So first up, we got a standard Rhino one with a bayonet J-arm. I do not recommend buying one of these. I would say if you can get one for free and you have nothing better, great. There you see the bayonet style attachment. And yeah, I'm just really not a fan of the Rhino one. There's a reason they've been replaced multiple times over at this point. You get theoretically 180 degrees of swivel on your J-arm so you can switch to your left or right eye. That's nice, but there's no point of articulation on it other than the swivel. Up and down positions are controlled just via friction. There's no button to lock them in place. But there's, spring tension and friction, so you usually don't have a huge issue there. As you can see, when it's stowed in the up position versus the down position, the up position is actually going to leave the goggle hanging very high above your head. A more modern mount that you'll see later, you can kind of stow the goggle tighter against your helmet when it's not being used. There's also no height adjustment on the Rhino one, which is the absolute deal breaker for me. I think any night vision mount, you need to have height adjustment. I got stuck using a Rhino 1 setup one time when I rented a unit. Didn't have height adjustment, and I could not get it to sit on my head properly. I could not get the goggle lined up with my eye just because of the way the helmet sat on my head and the shape of my head. Here we have a Rhino 2. Rhino 2 is going to be basically exactly the same as the Rhino 1 in pretty much every area other than it has height adjustment. And that's a game changer. I think that then makes the Rhino 2 an acceptable option. It does everything that a Wilcox G24 does, just worse, right? All the ergonomics are going to be slightly clunkier. All the buttons and controls are going to be slightly harder to find. And again, when you have your unit stowed in the up position, the goggle is going to be sticking still pretty high up off your head. The Wilcox Clone J-arm that I have on here, I would also not recommend. You don't get a lot of rotation on it. And again, you only have one point of articulation. You don't have that second point. This Rhino 2 is a knockoff. It's not a legit one. Neither was the Rhino 1 that I just showed you. This one has a dovetail style mount. You can get that as an adapter for a real Rhino 2 or just buy a clone like this one. Otherwise, I think these are perfectly serviceable. If you can get your hands on a Rhino 2 for cheap and it's what you're rocking, rock it. If you're running a PVS 7 and you're stuck with a bayonet mount, you can get a Rhino 2 with a bayonet for really cheap, and that's probably a great option. Keep in mind that most Rhino 2s you see are going to have the bayonet style mount and not the dovetail style mount that you see right here on this Chinese one. Finally, we're going to move along to what I would recommend for basically anyone, assuming you can afford to drop the $300 for the J-arm and the mount. This is a Wilcox G24 Clone. This is not a real G24. I think for the money, it's probably not worth it to buy a real G24 if you're just getting an entry-level unit or just running a PVS 14. This in particular is an Argus LW NVM. It's a clone of the lightweight G24. They get great reviews. Guys love them. It has all the same features, and I've had no problems with mine. They run for about $150. You're going to notice on the G24 that all of the controls are easier to use. Your attachment button for the J-arm, your forward and back adjustment, flipping it up and down is not friction. There is a button to do it, but the button's very easy to reach. Tilt adjustment is easy to reach. You're going to notice once you get used to it, it's very easy to find all of the controls, all of the buttons you need in the dark, and I'm a big fan of that. Here I'm showing the J-arm, the 2 points of articulation. That is a huge advantage to get the goggle right where you want it over your eye. Here I'm showing height adjustment. Again, height adjustment's a must. The G24 does it right. You have a big lever. It's easy to access. It's easy to flip up and down. And the articulating J-arm lets you stow the goggle flush against your helmet when it's not in front of your eye, which is a big advantage if you have your goggle up for some reason. Here I'm showing you the breakaway feature. You push that button in and out, and it affects how deeply that claw sticks down, so that if you were gonna, I guess, snag your goggle on something, the whole mount could break away if you wanted it to. I leave that feature disabled most of the time. I don't see the point in it. But as you can see, this is worth it. It's worth spending the extra money to get a mount that's giving you all the points of adjustment you need and the ergonomics that will just make your life easier. I would highly recommend, in this case, it is worth balling out to get the nicer thing. That's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this, including stuff about night vision, tactical gear, airsoft, guns, whatever else, I don't know. So yeah, thanks, I guess.